So I went back and I found the data just to be clear because I wanted to make sure, we were following, and I'm a newbie here. This is my third year. This will be my third year. So I'm trying to be respectful to what we were doing in the past. And I ran the data, and that's the way we did it. And I do it through a committee. So our committee decides the calendar. And so I can't speak to other people. I can only speak to me. I'm only responsible for my actions. And you guys know, as a board, I've been very transparent. I send this information to you, and you got it. And so hopefully that helps. I'll look for opportunities for improvement. I'll make sure that I send this out to everybody as quickly as possible. So it will be posted on our website, just like the other one was posted 1 year, 4 months in advance.
But it's safe to assume we won't batch Ridge was just because they go by with their semesters and they said that they can't switch it.
Have there been any conversations with the high school as far as trying to see what their calendar for 18-19 is going to look like?
Not at this point in time. Not at this point in time, but I think you bring up a good point. I think what I'm going to do is send this, if the board, assuming the board adopts this, I'll send it to them as quickly as possible.
Because what we're asking as parents who have kids in both schools is to make the decision as to which kid gets an extra week of break if they're traveling. And we're already telling
I mean, we're a small community, so why would we work together to have the kids all be off together and be able to go on vacation together versus
well, especially when we're
competing
dealing
and
with
deciding
time
which
changes
one.
and we already know students are going to be more tardy probably next year. And now we're talking a week.
I mean, years ago, it used to be talking about sick days and early release and not having enough students at teacher time, and now we're talking about it's okay to be tardy, it's okay to take an extra week off, it's okay to, I mean, I feel like we've done a complete 180 to what it was.
I don't want you to, I'm not saying it's okay.
No, I know, you're
It's
not
just what
saying it's
people do. I
okay,
can't
but that
control what
it's
people do. I have no
reality
control
of
of
what
their
it's gonna be, and, I think it's just not gonna be giving more and more excuses.
Roll call, please.
Mr. DeJulian?
Yes.
Mr. Anasagos?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
No.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp?
No.
Mr. Jacqueline?
No.
A motion approve the 2018-19 school calendar. Number D, we're going to move that down to number 18. E, motion to approve the hiring of Christopher Scarpula, K-8 Music, Giles and Lee.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti? Yes. Mrs. Stepp?
Yes.
Mr. DeJulian?
Yes.
Mr. Jacqueline?
Yes.
Mr. Anasagos?
Yes. Motion to approve the hiring of Christopher Scarpula, K-8 Music, Giles and Lee. Discussion, motion to approve the hiring of Arlene Reba, 6 to 7, for Adrian Reba, 6/7 grade PE Giles School.
I just really quick, I have a question. The ones that we're hiring back, Mr. Scarpula, Ms. Ryba, and Todd Goddard, these were teachers that we sent notices to at the last board meeting, but we're hiring them back, correct?
That's true.
Okay.
So these are people that work for the district.
I'll make the motion for up.
I'll second it. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. DeJulian?
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp?
Yes.
Mr. Jacqueline?
Yes.
Mr. Anasagos?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Motion to approve the hiring of Adrian Ruba, 6/7 grade PE Giles School. Discussion, motion to approve the service agreement with Right at School LLC. I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Have there been any conversations as to what the fee structure is going to look like for our families?
I don't believe there's been a discussion on what the fee structure is going to look like for the families. However, I know that Right at School is going to be working with Union Ridge and Panoyer. And so I'm expecting a same, if not similar, fee structure between the three schools. So we'll look at something that's reasonable and that's affordable with respect to the community that we serve.
Have we looked at any other organizations that provide a similar service?
We asked the Park District for assistance, and I believe they sent a letter that I provided to the board.
Is there
But they
anything
did
like
not do that at this point.
Anybody else?
No.
because I went on the Right at School website and looked at other schools in the area. And it was like just for after school care from, I think the school was from like 2:30 to 6. And you have to buy it in that block. You can't just buy it like in an hour increment. It was almost $400 a month. And I think that the idea behind it was that we were looking for the families so that they would have an opportunity to be able to get from one school to the next. And that it may only be for a half hour, 45 minutes after school, as opposed to buying it in 4-hour increments.
Well, that's something I think we could just talk to them about. And look at
That's my
something
question,
more
is
amenable. Yes.
because that just seems, I mean, for a parent who's looking for 20 minutes after school so that they can get one kid and then go to the other school and pick up the other child, $400 a month. And that was strictly for after school. That didn't account for any before school.
Yeah.
From what I saw, and that was for 2 or 3 of the schools that I looked at on there. And I just want to make sure that we are pricing this, that the services being offered are
Very competitive.
well competitive, but they're what we're looking for. That we're that there are going to be families, because I read on their website that you can buy, like it's a 20-day pass kind of a thing, and you can use it whenever you want. But it was still like a day. It wasn't by the hour. And again, I thought at the last meeting that when we talked about this, that it was really, we were identifying it for the gap for families to be able to get from one school to the next.
Right. So let's go back in time. It was my understanding, you can correct me at any point in time, okay. It was my understanding that in the transition from our contract, as a transition, we would help parents transition and we provide some after-school care. Is that a true statement?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That, in my opinion, seemed to have basically grew into something other than what it was expected to do. In its growth mode, it was an increase in the cost, which we don't have the money to provide for that service, which is after-school care. Because of the result, or because of the outcome of our last initiative, we have a limited budget. We cannot provide first care at after school or before school. We can't do that. We cannot do that. The board cannot do that. And so we're looking at choices. We're trying to do the best we can. There's not a lot of takers on this. And so we're trying to work through this. I believe this is the right approach, and I think right at school, because they're going into 3 districts, we'll be able to work with the 3 of us to provide something that's more meaningful. I'm not saying it's going to be at a minimal cost, because you have a service that's being provided by a third party, and I'm assuming it has to be profitable. But to the same extent, I can't provide the service. I can't provide, unless the board says, Dr. O'Malley, we'll allocate X amount of money per school for this transition, X amount of money at the beginning of school. But you're the Board of Education. You guys decide. This is something that I moved forward with. I worked with our attorney on. I'm trying to do the best that we can. I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. But at the same extent, we can no longer afford to basically continue with the practices that we have.
Absolutely,
So-
but at the last board meeting, there was a parent who was talking about being able to pick kids up, and my impression was that it was going to be that we were going to be able to purchase it in smaller increments. Not per se, not a 4-hour block, but a smaller, and that's what I want to make sure that we're providing that. I have no control over the costs. You don't have any
Exactly.
control, or they're their own business. But I want to make sure that what we're telling the community we're going to provide for them is what we're actually turning around and providing. Because I think an extra $400 a month for some families might be the difference between medicine and their kid being watched after school.
I get it.
And I don't want to be the person who's making that decision for them.
I get it. I understand.
So is that something that you will
You know,
talk and then report back on?
We'll take a look at it. It's this is a third party. I didn't have a lot of takers on that. This is for sure.
I understand.
And so it's one of these situations that you're the board. You can decide that we don't want to approve this, and we'll have no service, and then the parents are going to have to work through this as they see fit, or we approve this and then we take a look at, to your point, what exactly they're going to provide. And I can report back in May and be more specific if you so choose. I could have a representative come out and they could talk about exactly what they're going to provide, if you prefer.
I think it would be great.
we could do
Yeah.
that.
And I mean, if you have 3 people that sign up, I can imagine this not being very
Sure.
lucrative, so therefore you're not gonna have service. If you have 400, it's gonna be a much different scenario.
Sure.
There's no fee schedule on here, right? So
No.
that's up to
Correct.
evaluation. So it's, we're not approving a specific amount. So we
No,
can
but like I said, I
negotiate
went
that.
on and I looked at,
Right.
on their website, and I looked at 4 schools in the Chicagoland area. I put in our zip code and it tells you the schools. And it was like $371 is what I believe what it was a
Yeah.
month for after school only.
I
This
think
just
it'll
sets
be
us up
kind
for-
of, I think it would be also important too to have a little structure of payment so people can understand and see if they can't afford it, or they'll find different venues to or different ways of achieving the same result.
They can do that anyway, though,
No, I understand that.
right?
I understand that, but for us to provide this service, and with Dr. Melli, I would suggest to bring that, them to come
Absolutely.
in and at the next meeting and present. I think it would be ideal.
Oh,
Absolutely.
of course.
Do I have a motion or? do I need a
Yes.
vote? Roll call, please.
Mr. Bellafiore,
Yes.
Mr. Radisavich,
Yes.
Mr. Biondo,
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti,
Yes.
Mr. DeJulio,
Yes.
Mrs. Steck,
Yes.
Mr. Chacalone.
Yes.
Motion to approve the service agreement with Right Hand School LLC. Discussion, motion to approve the hiring of Todd Broder, 5th to 8th grade, writing, child school.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo,
Yes.
Mr. DeJulio,
Yes.
Mrs. Steck,
Yes.
Mr. Radisavich,
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti, yes, Mr. Bellafiore,
Yes.
Mr. Chacalone.
Yes.
Motion to approve the hiring of Todd Broder, 5th through 8th grade, writing, child school. To all the teachers. Discussion for the motion to approve the consent agenda. Like to remove number B off the consent agenda. Is anyone opposed to that? Roll call, please, or motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Discussion, roll call, please.
Mrs. Paletti,
Yes.
Mr. Biondo,
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore,
Yes.
Mr. Chacalone,
Yes.
Mr. DeJulio,
Yes.
Mr. Radisavich,
Yes.
Mrs. Steck,
Yes.
Motion, approve the consent agenda. I'd like to discussion, I'd like to motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss the purchase of lease and real property and the settlement of price for sale or lease of property.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo, yes, Mr. DeJulio,
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore,
Yes.
Mr. Chacalone,
Yes.
Mrs. Steck,
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti,
Yes.
Mr. Radisavich.
Yes. Motion approved to go into closed session at 8:42.